I I should tell you about it. Maybe you know it already. The rise in the number of suicides, the homicides, the murders, the crazy people, and then those shambling things that came afterwards. I was there when we discovered the spores that started this whole mess. In the 1980s, an independent group of scientists, myself included, embarked on an expedition to Africa to search for a notorious, maddening substance only known as the locals as wansin. Apparently, this substance was spread through beautiful pollen flowers which were found around the area. When inhaled, the wansin spores cause madness and the dementia of the natives. The effects vary through most of the time. They turn mad and seek desire to murder others. I saw them stab themselves with spears and sticks and such, bashing foreheads as they went. They inflicted wounds onto themselves. Some injuries were enough to kill them, but they just still kept on moving. We studied the victim in a lab in the west of Kaijuju, sealing him in a plated glass room in a one-way mirror. We left him adequate food and water to seal him inside. From him, we learned of the necrosis that was happening to his skin. First, the skin pales, and in this case, the natives turn their other's dark skin into dry, cracked gray. Blots start from forms and sores. Through the weeks of isolation, we saw the skin turn into a gray, cracked husk, into a greenish sore on the victim. Days later, the man self-terminated. As we began pampering the burial, we noticed that the corpse was twitching rapidly. It was too strange to be called necrotic twitching. It was as if the corpse still wanted to move. After a rapid succession of twitching, the corpse simply hung limp. We attempted another experiment. Apparently, that led me to a second discovery. The spore induced mutations on the body if tissues damage was severe. Apparently, the spore induced cellular reproduction within the bloodstream, creating cell after cell after cell. We knew something was wrong. A heavily wounded man exhibited symptoms of Bowman spores, starting to grow an inhuman amount of muscle and tissues around his injured parts of its body. We sedated him and placed him in an isolated room for study. The results were astonishing. The wansin spore regenerated parts of the wounded man's body with a red mass that gave a red pigmentation on the person's skin. The affected showed signs of an intense wendigo psychosis, an insatiable desire to feed on human flesh. As the days passed by, I started to get weary and tired. I was also frightened. The other scientists were getting weary too. When the scream started, we were onto our knees. The man screamed his ears out. The screams went on for days until we woke up, heard nothing, and saw a bullet hole in its chest. The reddish man lay there. I asked Peter, our hunter, if he had done the euthanasia. No, he said. Angel grabbed my gun when I was sleeping. We saw Angel, the researcher, curled in the fetal position in the corner of the lab, gun in hand. She was sobbing and whispering. When we examined her cuts and bruises, we saw a bite mark embedded in her arm. It bit me, it bit me, it bit me. I can't believe it bit me, she whispered. I wanted to take a blood sample from him, and he just bit me, so I shot him. I shot him through the chest. The sick bastard, the sick bastard. We have taken every precaution not to get infected with the Brisson agent, to the point of sterilization. Angel was obviously harboring the stage 1 symptoms of the Watson complex. As we came closer to restraining her, she knew what our intent was and simply shot herself in the chest. Not in the forehead, where the brain will forever slumber, but the chest. After that incident, we decided to get the hell out of there. We gave them proper burials and left Africa. Due to my colleague's Native American ancestry, we decided to name the condition as the Wendigo Complex. But the thing was, the case was far, far from over. There was a final symptom discovery, and out of a 4, this was the worst. The necrotic twitching I spoke of before? It got worse. A once-unafflicted man was witnessed killing himself. As the coroner prepared the tools of the autopsy, he found the man shambling towards the door, ribcage exposed. The man, grazed skin and pupilless, let out a long moan before falling to the floor. Vascara spread all around. We were frightened with the news of the reanimated corpse. Frightened beyond comprehension, to say the least. But I suppose it was already too late for us. Spreading the agent would only happen in one way, through inhalation of spores. But with the outbreak of Ebola near Ebola-infected areas, the spore adapted, assimilated the characteristic of a virus, turning into one of a deadly, agile weapon. The agent could now spread through the blood. As such, the occurrence of the infected were spreading, but the virus didn't spread enough to gain people's attention until 2 months later. Bizarre murders occurred around the region. People were apparently eaten. Sighting prevailed of groups of people eating other groups of people. It was mad, insane even. To the few who knew about the Wendigo complex, this was a depressing thought. Through the months until the revelation of the massive Wendigo outbreak, I've lost almost all of my colleagues. They died by their own hands, guilty of the monsters that they have become. The first official sighting is now named Wendigo Men. We're in a small Floridian island, Cassie Key, but by the time the virus was already spreading across Americans, Europe, Asia, Africa, to the birds and the like, innocent people around the world became insane. The Wendigo Men didn't stay for long, but their slow, shambling relatives took their place. We, the remaining scientists who first discovered the Wendigo virus, hesitated to call it what it really was. It was the living dead, just like in the movies. The virus was smart. The whole purpose of the symptoms was to turn the person into those freaks. Apparently the virus did not only cause necrosis, but it caused already dead tissues to reanimate. The Ballon-Wassin spores were acting as some sort of reanimated agent. It was terrifying to think that almost everyone in the world was shambling stupidly, craving for flesh of the living. But the virus was airborne, and the majority of the population had turned into Wendigo Men. I don't know why I survived. The surviving group of scientists, I included, were escorted by a convoy of the President of the United States towards the underground bunker in the skies of a farming ranch. We huddled up there, waiting for a miracle. I still remember the courageous, ambitious look on the President's face a decade ago. He was unfazed from all the horrors that's happening around him. The soldiers look up to him as a true leader of the brand of Americans that were. He's dead now. Every year, his strength waned. The moan of the living dead echoes through every night we spent under the concrete bunker. One half-baked soldier grudgingly placed a microphone towards the horde of the undead. The moan echoes through the military bunker. Every year, there seemed to be that one person that flips out, and out of our numbers were steadily decreasing. Gradually, the beasts got in. The President, tired and weary, embraced the freaks with open arms. I killed him myself. He got a chunk of flesh while I killed him, though. Oh, shit. I just coughed. Well, the necrovirus just spread through my lungs. I suppose I wonder why I'm not going crazy. Just remember, when one gets infected, he is not the same person as before. The person person's dead. This is just his body. Shoot him in the head. But be careful of the water too. Drink bottled shit. The virus is waterborne in some parts of America. Shit. What else? The necrosis. The necrosis virus usually causes necrosis. I said that before. Just watch out for patches of skin that seems odd. Dry skin. Itchy skin. If you read this, I cannot tell you how common those words were, but I don't know. I'm afraid to say the other lines. I can't speak for them. It's too horrible. I just can't. What I'm going to become will be 10 times worse than anything ever imagined in this world. I could feel it eating away on my body now. I'm dying, and I can't whimper. All my strength has gone to lock myself up. It's all for you. I stocked the closet at the back of the supplies, a week's worth of food, my remaining boxes of shotgun shells, pistol clips, ammo, and 10 days worth of gas. Drive as far as Mexico, whoever you are, because there's going to be spreading. And then go to Antarctica. As for me, I don't know still. I'm dead, deader than dead. Oh, pistol, you were always there for me. Its muzzle was caked in blood. I tried to shoot myself in the head just a few hours ago, but I decided not to. I'd shoot one of those things in the face first, and when I pushed the muzzle against my temple, it was still so hot that I branded the skin on my forehead with a penny-shaped hole. I winced a bit from the pain, though. I thought of you. I guess my pain didn't matter anymore. What mattered was the pain I was going to cause you. I don't know how to... Oh. There goes my youth, come on. Look at that thing throbbing its last. It doesn't even hurt a bit, even though the blood just wells inside my mouth. I just need a little water or something. I'll wash that off. I'm so itchy, damn it. My right arm is all dry and patchy at parts. Wait, I have to scratch. There. Itchy, gone. I mean, the itch is gone. Maybe I should just sit here and wait for it to get me. I can't pull the trigger. I want to die, but I can't. People upstairs. Not dead. I see. I scratch, itchy, not gone. Pals tasty, people tasty. That is what you them.